All right, Bill Belichick is upset. One of his best players, one of his most important players, Wes Welker, who missed almost all of 3 games. Bear in mind, he missed 2 entire games and then all but the first drive in the last game of the season and still led the league in receptions. Is down, and he ain't getting back up again, unfortunately. Right. Looks like an ACL and an MCL for Wes Welker. He certainly won't play in this postseason, and we'll see how next year is even affected by this. But Bill Belichick, in a conversation on WEEI in Boston yesterday, was talking about the condition of the field, Mike, in Houston.
Well, it's just inconsistent. You know, it's all those little trays of grass, and some of them are soft, some of them are firm. They don't all fit well together. There's seams. Some of it feels like a sponge. Some of it feels, real firm and hard, like the Miami surface. And it's one step you're on one, and the other step you're on another. And so I think it's really one of the worst fields I've seen.
Bill Belichick upset and sort of blaming the field for the Welker injury.
Yeah, we've seen, so many fields going to just the field turf. Not the AstroTurf, the garbage that I played on, but the field turf. So you're seeing more of that now, and even regular grass, stadiums are kind of getting outdated and moving to that, and that's what this was. So again, this could have happened anytime, anywhere. When it's a hit, it's one thing, but when a player does it to himself, there's really not a whole lot you can do.
You played most of your career at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, which I think, correct me if I'm wrong, was considered by everyone to have had the worst playing surface in the league.
There was a grievance filed by every team that played there. Every team that played automatically filed a grievance because of the playing surface.
I remember covering a game there when the Bears came into town where Wendell Davis jumped and both of his kneecaps slid to his ankles.
Both patella tendons he blew out.
It was one of the worst-looking moments I've ever seen in football. And I continue to find it. You know what? I hope DeMaurice Smith is listening, the new Players Association head, because this is something that I think the players should be all over. All over. If the playing surfaces, if you're talking about a league where it generates billions of dollars based upon the performance of these athletes, and you insist that the athletes keep themselves in the utmost physical condition and do everything they can to avoid injury. If every playing surface in the NFL is not cared for and if the players are not placed on a playing surface that is at the absolute maximum possible safety, that is a disgrace.
Yeah, it is.
A disgrace.
Agree.
And I don't know. I'm not saying Bill Belichick is right here. I don't know. I've never stepped on the playing surface in Houston in my life. Actually, I have, but that's neither here nor there. The point is, if indeed that's the case, if any player ever gets hurt because the playing surface is substandard, that would be an embarrassment. At this point, they try to avoid that in high school.
Yeah.
How in the world can that be acceptable on the NFL level?
I agree, and obviously it's not acceptable. It's just the lines that you go to, how far you go, to make sure it's where it needs to be. So Welker, again, out of this one, and this stat just caught my eye. I just want to get out. He's a leading receiver this year with 120.